Macho fela banda ayu.
Okay.
Okay. Ayuba.
On. I said okay. Jema fungalo. La press ya. Debi oka press ya. Umar mbala lu ya mo.
Omar nanang boy. Ndi
Langko press motor.
Mike Donane.
ndi talo boy.
Fula damu albo on na fula.
Ha.
Use this one.
Okay, another.
Mike. Mike check. Mike check.
Mike. Mike.
It's match day 20 of the GFF Men's Division 2. Hello, good afternoon, wherever you might be getting our voices and signals. You most welcome back to the late Osman Saho football field and of course live on LSTV at the Cabin Parliament for the Alasan Bayuba camera behind camera operations, and of course it's a class in match day 20 between Serrekunda FC and Elite United, and Serrekunda FC currently on 16th with 18 points, whilst Elite United on 4th with 32. And Serrekunda FC, dressed in their colorful and usual yellow shirts, black shorts and yellow socks, whilst Elite United in green and white shirts, green shorts and green socks, playing from our left to right, while Serrekunda FC kicks from our right to left. Central referee Ali Bijaju, ably and reliably assisted by Bakari Kante. Adam Abuso Famara Kujabi is the fourth assistant referee, whilst Abdul K. Cham serves as the match commissioner of this lively and entertaining showdown. And of course, it is quick to know that Elite United are still on a strike, but of course here to play Serrekunda FC because they wouldn't want the players and of course the team to be suspended. But immediately after this game, as confirmed, the team is going back to the indefinite strike until and unless their demands are met. But anyway, from the late Osman Saho football field in Yundum, it's a clash between Serrekunda FC and Elite United, and the score is currently 0-0. Serrekunda dressed in yellow and black, starting this game with Yusuf Seka in goal, Mohamed Jallo, Abubakar Jaju, Ibrahim Asuri Kamara, Amri Tijan Koka, Esa Sanyang, Amadou Jaite, Mohamed M. Janko, Edward Yanga, Modu Matar Sise, and Abdurrahman Jallo. Complete the 11 for head coach Alain Mendy and his boys, and Alain is ably and reliably assisted by Abdullah Baji. Fodesar is on the technical area in absence of head coach Major Sen, who is still observing a strike, and of course nowhere to be seen at the late Osman Saho in this lively and entertaining showdown. Fodesar is the head coach for Elite this afternoon, ably and reliably assisted by Mohamed S. Sahim. Elite starting this game with Abdullah Cham in goal, Mamadou Ndong, Pamodu Jallo, Babukar Chati, Kalilu Sambo, Hatimo Bari, Sedu Baji, Chernoba, Per Tamba, Kausujata, and Omar Toure completes the 11 for Elite United, who are currently on 4th with 32, while Serrekunda FC on 16 with 18. And of course, it's lively and entertaining, both sides hoping to win it. And of course, at the commentary cabin, Parliament for the Alas. And of course, welcome back to the late Osman Saho football field in match day 20 of the GFF Men's Division 2. Clash between Elite United and Serrekunda FC. Elite are still observing the strike, and of course here to play this game, and immediately after this, as confirmed, the team is still going back to the strike until and unless their demands being met.
Thank you very much, Pafati, and it's once LSTV, and I'm with my boss Pa, who is serving as the commentator. Pa, looking at the game today, I think I would say this is an opportunity for Serrekunda United that are playing against a team that haven't trained for complete 3 days, and then you know how often the Gambians men for the second division league is always. So you not training for 3 games, for 3 days, will definitely ruin your fitness down. And Serrekunda United, despite them being struggling at the 16th position of the table currently, are also a solid team that is known for its competition and then also the background, how well they are organized. So them playing against a team that haven't trained for 3 days, I believe today they can do better to secure and then win. With 3 points, they are going back. They are going down to 15. So I think they have all to do to sacrifice today and then get the better of Elliot so that Mr. Training.
Thank you very much, Alasan. In case you're just joining us, you are reminded that this is coming to you live from the late Osman Saho football field and is better known as the FIFA Goal Project in March Day 20 of the second division of Gambian football. Ibrahim Asori Kamara for Serrekunda, of course, one of the central defenders. Kausu Jaju, or Jata rather, playing as one of the wing backs. Yes, Asanyang trying to get that decent strike, caught out by Hatimu Bari, who spread the ball wide. And of course, it is Elliot United once more. And Elliot, of course, haven't trained for the last 3 days before coming to this fixture against Serrekunda FC. Kausu Jata forward. Elliot United, that's a weak one, straight into the gloves of the goalkeeper, Yusuf Seka, who is currently in goal for Serrekunda FC. Ibrahima Sori Kamara gets it down wide. Great combination coming from the boys in yellow and black. And caught out by Elite United, of course, one time playing in the top division before the team being relegated. And of course, currently on 4th with 32 against the Serrekunda FC side on 16th with 18 points. Mohamed Jallo for the boys from Serrekunda. Getting it down to Mohamed B. Janko. Yanga to the right side of the wing, Abubakar Jaju, the team captain. Janko once more, Ibrahim Asori Kamara, back to Yusuf Sek. Yusuf, the custodian, came on as a substitute in the 1-1 draw against Wokona at the Soma Mini Stadium. After Margaret Seka being substituted, it's a long one from Yanga. Trying to connect the tall and lanky centre forward, Abdurrahman Jallo, who scored the only goal in the 1-1 draw against Wokona at the Soma Mini Stadium. The central referee not interested. Serrekunda FC spreads it wide to Esa Sanyang. Esa Sanyang looking for support. Sanyang looking for support to Amri Tijan Koka. Koka to Janko. Serrekunda FC controlling possession here. Janko switches the play from the left to the right, trying to connect the centre forward. And the central referee, Aliu B. Jajo, has already given that an advantage. Elite United, who are, of course, playing for the 4th time in the last 3 days. They haven't trained on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and back here at the late Osman Saho football field. And of course, the side is still protesting against unpaid bonuses and, of course, last month's salaries. Anyway, the custodian, Abdullah Cham. No Major Seka or Major for Elite United. Esa Sanyang. Fantastic combination coming from Serrekunda FC. Hoping to get this done, and of course we'll try to rely on the level of fitness of Elite United, who haven't trained, but we believe their players might be training individually. Hatimu Bari gets it down, fantastic combination. Hatimu once more. And Hatimu has been rewarded by central referee Aliubi Jaju. And Hatimu Bari was of course playing for SL United in the second division last season before getting back to Real de Banjul and back here on loan to Elite United. Hatimu 15 for Elite. Back to the goalkeeper Abdullah Cham. Cham going long. No player to chase. And Serrekunda FC will rely on Abubakar Jaju, the team captain, to get that decently. And it is of course entertaining earlier in the earliest of moments of this lively and entertaining showdown. But currently this score is 0-0. Player Rasul, Serrekunda FC rewarded. Of course, the player in question is Amadou Jete, who is operating as one of the wing backs or the right wing backs for Serrekunda FC. And Serrekunda having Mohamed Jallo, currently having the defensive partnership alongside Yanga. Ibrahim Asori Kamara, the central defender, seems to be deployed in the heart of midfield to give support to the midfield. Janko get that done, and of course it is Elliot Hatimu Bari Fantastic combination coming from the boys in green and white. Not for too long. Abubakar Jaju to Janko. Ibrahim Asori Kamara looking for penetration to Amrit Tijan Koka. Fantastic combination. Esa Sanyang. Amrit once more. And Esa Sanyang will try to chase.
Nine.
Fantastic beginning coming from the late Osman Saho football field in Yundum.
Looking at the game's rhythm for the first 9 minutes of the game, would definitely tell you that Serrekunda United are coming with a different ambition towards this game. After knowing their stand in the GFF second division league, knowing that the only time that they can come better than they are, do better than they are doing, is when they win this game. For the past 2 games that they played, they lose 1 and then draw 1. So that is not a good record for them. Recently, they are securing 18 points at the 16th position, while we have AJ Soccer that are securing the 15th position for them, that are in 20 points. They definitely know that when they win this game today, they can even bounce back to 14th position of the league after Ouagadougou also being at the 20 point. So them getting 18, from 18 they can fly to 21 points. So that would definitely bring them closer and closer to the top, and which I definitely know they will be working hard for.
Thank you very much, Modu Matar Sise. To Janko. Abubakar Jaju once more. This is Serrekunda FC trying to get something now. It's a low drive. That was definitely very close, but of course the goalkeeper Abdullah Icham had a hand to it. And central referee Aliou B. Jaju has already pointed for a corner. Corner to the boys from Serrekunda, who are of course very much ambitious in the earliest of moments of this lively and entertaining showdown. Match day 20 of the second division of male football in the Gambia. And Cham gathers that with ease. Fantastic. They don't buy Cham. And Janko back to the goalkeeper sec. Serrekunda FC trying to do their utmost best to possibly get maximum points here. Mohamed Jallo to Esa Sanya. Esa getting it down, trying to reconnect the run of Amrit Tijan Koka. Now Kausu Jata plays that ball short. Elite United will build on. Padudu Jallo. Fantastically done, Elite. Kausu Jata once more, but not for too long. Elite United recovers swiftly. Team captain gets it down. Nicely on to Hatimu Bari. Hatimu to the central defender, and of course Elite United will undoubtedly start the play from their own half. Mamadou Ndong. Ndong gets it forward, but already the flag of the assistant referee has already gone up for an offside against Elite United, and Serrekunda FC will use that opportunity to build on that attack. And currently Abubakar Jaju on the ball, the team captain for Serrekunda FC. And Serrekunda, in the last 2 matches of this GFF men's Division 2, of course the second round, the side narrowly lost to Carnifing is that they leave your dreams football field in Basuri before picking a point in a nail-biting goalless draw. Of course, 1-1 draw against Wokona at the Soma Mini Stadium. Up next, we'll face Koli Stars, the league leaders, at the Late Osman Saho football field before coming back here again to face North Star, a side they drew 2-2 in the 4th round. And of course, Serrekunda FC lost narrowly to Koli Stars in the 4th round. And of course, we'll meet Koli Stars in the 2nd round in their next fixture. It is Hatimu Bari for Elite, who are currently on strike anyway. Decently done. No player to chase. And Abubakar Jaju will try to recover that for Serrekunda FC on the far side. Nicely and entertaining showdown from the Late Osman Saho football field, and still the league leaders, Koli Stars, after 19 matches of play, are currently on top of the table with 40 points. Played 19 matches, won 11, drew 7, lost only once in the 4th round, and currently on top of the table with 40. Carnifing East is currently 2nd after 19 matches. Played 19, won 10, drew 6, lost 3, and with 36 points. Balosar on 3rd rather. Won 9, of the last 19. Drew 7, lost 3 with 34 points. Elite United, after 19 matches, won 9, drew 5, lost 5 with 32. Walidan, after 19 matches, won 8, drew 6, lost 5 with 30 points. And of course, it's a throw-in on the far side. We will definitely get you the rundown on some of the standings of the 2025-26 GFF Men's Division 2. The custodian Abdullah Cham for Elite United. Cham going long, getting that ball on the far side to Sedu Baji. Kausu Jata to chase. Kausu is going to have that chase, and the goalkeeper alert end of Yusuf Sek gets that ball decently. And of course, Alassane, that was timely coming from the goalkeeper. I think he was just there in time to clear that ball decently.
Yeah, he was there in time because you looking at the run of the number 17, who when he controls that ball could have been a dangerous play for the Serrekunda side, but the goalkeeper was right there because he knows how highly their boys were defending. And then once you are defending, once you are playing high defense, you need to have very fast centre backs that can track back for you once the ball is being sent as a true pass for them. But if not that, that could have led to a dangerous shot. And looking at today's Serrekunda, Elite United, they come in a different way. They are playing back three, and then they have a lot of midfielders. And it seems like they have very good passes and then at the midfield that can easily throw. And then their striker who is physical and then very, very fast can also score. Serrekunda United, whence they are not mindful. And I'm observing something that I could not even understand how the transformation of that happens. So because looking at Serrekunda United today, they are playing a midfielder who was then a defensive midfielder and later on transformed to a controlling midfielder. And now today I am seeing him playing as a point striker, which is definitely been a surprise for me. I never know Abrahman Jallo, commonly known as Dura, as a striker. All that I used to know him was he do play midfield 6, and later on he sometimes play as a midfield 8. But today I am seeing him in the top front of Serrekunda United, a team that is in the Gambian second division league, playing a midfielder as a striker. And then how well will the coach do that? It's a question for me. I don't know definitely how does that happen.
Anyway, interesting from the second division of Gambian football. Currently, Abdurrahman Jallo is leading the line for Serrekunda FC. Scored the only goal in the 1-1 draw against Wokono. And once again in the starting 11 against Elite United at the late Osman Saho football field in Yundum. It is lively and entertaining. Fantastic game coming from Elite United. Can they get something done? Cross comes in, and this time it's a strong header, inches over the crossbar. That was definitely very close for the centre forward, Per Tamba. And Per Tamba, of course, the boy from Kartong, rose the highest, trying to note that ball down for a goal, but unfortunately sailed over the crossbar. 0-0 is the current score in case you're just monitoring situations. And you are reminded that this is, of course, the second division of Gambian football. Match day 20 between Elite United and Serrekunda FC. And the score is still barren. Serrekunda FC against Elite United. Both sides hoping to win it. Elite hoping to win it to possibly have a better standing as far as the league is concerned. While Serrekunda FC hoping to win it to, of course, move the team upwards. Yusuf Sek urging his players to move forward. Yusuf Sek going long, trying to connect the run of Amadou Jete. And Jete's delivery wasn't a convincing one. And of course, a throw in on the far side for Elite United. We are currently having Fode Sarr as the head coach in absence of the team head coach Major Sen. Of course, we believe Major is still on strike. But anyway, that is the game for you. Elite United are here to play. And of course, as per the information we receive from the team, is that the team is still on strike. The only reason why they are here today is to avoid players being suspended, and of course the team. And immediately after this game, they are going back to the strike until and unless their demands are being met. Of course, they are still protesting against unpaid bonuses and of course salary. This time decent one coming from the team captain, but that never troubled the custodian Yusuf Sek in goal for Serrekunda FC. Entertaining and lively, but yet to have a goal or goals. Yusuf still having a word with the central defender Mohamed Jallo. And of course it's a goal kick to Serrekunda FC. Serrekunda currently on 16th with 18 points.
whilst Elite United on fourth with 32. Both sides hoping to win this contest. Elite hoping to get it and of course move upwards. Equally Serrekunda FC. And of course Serrekunda is one of the most struggling teams in this year's GFF Men's Division 2. Only above Marimo and Gunjur United, who are both languishing at the bottom of the table with 16 and 15 points respectively. And Gunjur United is of course playing this afternoon. And of course we will try to check on some of the fixtures. Esa Sanyang to chase, having it tough against Kausu Jata. Esa Sanyang calling in for a penalty. Central referee not interested. Kausu Jata once more. Esa trying to reconnect that once more, and team captain picks it for Elite. Sedu to Per Tamba. Per getting it down once more. Fantastically done by Elite United. Trying to recover swiftly, but the team captain Babu Karchati could not keep that ball in play. Serrekunda FC gets that for a throw in. Yes, Alassane.
Yes, looking at the foul that just happened in few seconds back, it's a goal chance, and then you know in football once there is a goal chance and then a defender happens to stop the striker, and then even if he happens to touch him with a slight touch, it's always awarded as a penalty. I don't know how the referee could ignore that without affording that as a penalty.
Is that going to be the goal? Greatly saved by the goalkeeper Yusuf Sek. That was, of course, the best chance of the game. And, of course, Per Tamba could not believe that. And, of course, the other player could not also believe that. The game is still 0-0. Of course, the player had the glorious chance. Chernobyl should have put that beyond the reach of the goalkeeper. But, unfortunately, the goalkeeper, Yusuf Sek, of course, should be applauded for saving that ball decently.
It was a great save, and then, but I think Cherno could have done better than that. These are chances that a player should not allow to be missing. These are one of the best chances you can have in a game. And looking at the stand of the game, you scoring this goal would definitely encourage your boys, would definitely give hope to your management and then your colleagues. Wasting this kind of chance is not only troubling yourself as a striker of not scoring many goals, but also letting your team to be in a pressure, because these are chances that you have once in a game. So you missing them would definitely disturb your team. I think this one, he should have not go for power. He should have just go for pace, in which he would have easily tap it into the back of the net. Wow.
Thank you very much, Alassane. And of course, the game is temporarily stopped. As of course, the goalkeeper earlier on, Yusuf Sek, was receiving attention from the medical team in this lively and entertaining showdown. Elite United nil, Serrekunda FC nil is still the current score from the late Osman Saho football field. And the game is indeed lively and entertaining. Lively and entertaining in case you're just arriving or watching us live on LSTV. At the Cabin Parliament Party, Alassane Ba, Ayuba Kamara behind camera operations, and special thanks to all those monitoring this game live on LSTV and any of the order. Ibrahim Sori Kamara. Sori gets it down to Modu Matar Sise. Matar recovered that swiftly. Fantastically done, and ball been blocked to touch for a throw into Serrekunda FC. And Serrekunda will rely on Amadou Jete to get that. Amadou Jete has already getting that to Abubakar Jajo. Cross comes in. Kausu Jata heads that ball down to Sadi or Sedu Baje. This is a game to look out for. Edward Younger to the goalkeeper Yusuf Sek. Yusuf urging his players to move forward. Yusuf, the goalkeeper for Serrekunda FC. It's a long one once more. And Yusuf missed that once more. He was trying to connect the run of Amadou Jete up front. But of course, that wasn't a great one. And Per Tamba moves the ball forward for Elite United. Physically built up center forward. Gets it down wide. This is Sedu Baji once more, one of the experienced players for this Elite United side. But of course, the class and the player is already back on his feet. And of course, Esa Sanya. Esa having a lot of pace and skill in him. And of course, Kausu Jata has been penalized by the central referee, Aliubi Jajo.
And of course, Ali is on spot to get that done for Serrekunda FC. Fantastically done by the central referee. Abubakar Jaju. Jaju going long, trying to connect the run of Abdurrahman, who had a glancing header. This is Kausu Jata, and Kausu has been rewarded by central referee. And of course, the referee is Alubi Jaju. Bakari Kante is AR1 Adama Buso, and Famara Kujabi, the fourth assistant referee. Abduke Jame, or Cham rather, serves as the match commissioner in this lively and entertaining. And of course, Alasan, I think this game is definitely interesting, but a goal here will definitely change its dynamics.
Yeah, it is definitely interesting, and then the only thing that can change the results of the game is a goal, but we are yet to see that. But looking at both sides are playing well, and then chances are created, and once there are chances, there are hope for goals. Looking at Elite, they have the best chance so far for the game, but they couldn't make it count, and then Serrekunda United are also fighting all they can just to get a goal. But the Serrekunda are playing a boy who they are playing him less, and I believe when they play him more, he can easily create a goal for them. Who is that? Is their number 10. Their number 10 is very, very good on the ball, and then he 1v1, it seems like he's unstoppable, and then he have the pace in which he is very fast in runs, and then they have a very, very lanky point striker who is winning their aerials ball for them. And once those things are happening, they can capitalize from the follow-up. Their supporting striker can easily tap balls into the goal once they are following up the opportunities and then the chances that they are having. But Elites should definitely stand. I understand that they are a team that haven't trained together for the past 3 days, but the football they are playing here today does not show that they miss training together. They are definitely playing well, and I believe when they keep it like this, they can also bring a result that is encouraging to their side.
Thank you very much, Alasan. And in case you're just joining us, you are reminded that this is coming to you live from the late Osman Saho football field in match day 20 between Elite United and Serrekunda FC. The score is still 0-0. The score is still 0-0 between Elite and Serrekunda, and both sides working off their socks and possibly trying to see if they can get a goal before lemon time. Custodian Abdullah Cham, and of course Elite having a player warming, Sedu Baje. Sedu looking for support, and Per Tamba, the flag of the assistant referee still stayed down, and of course the assistant referee has already allowed play to continue. The defenders of Serrekunda FC thought that was of course an offside, but the assistant referee allowing that to continue. Anyway, Serrekunda FC picked it up. That's a foul, and Serrekunda FC will try to regroup.
But that's a dangerous chance for Elite United. It was definitely a great combination from the right back to the point striker, who is always on his feet running, and he looks to be very, very, very physical and then very fast on it. But looking at Serrekunda United, they have a very, very smart goalkeeper who is always right there on vision, that knowing his team is playing high defense, and the only way he can stop them from conceding a goal with the pace at which the point striker of Elite United is going with is when he is sweeping. And then so far all the sweeps that he's making are great ones, and then he's making great impact for Serrekunda United.
Thank you very much, Alasan Ba. And in case you're just joining us, you are reminded that we're coming to you live from the Osman Saho football field in match day 20 of the GFF Men's Division 2. Interesting and lively. And it's still Serrekunda FC 0, Elite United 0. In case you're just watching us, and you are reminded that this is coming to you live on LSTV at the Cabin Parliament Party. Alasan Ban Ayuba Kamara behind camera operation. It's a set piece currently for Elite United, and of course Serrekunda FC has already assembled a 3-man wall in trying to protect this set piece coming from the boys in green and white. Elite United, player to deliver, this is long and high one, and of course over the crossbar. Kalilu Sambu trying to test the goalkeeper from that angle, but never troubled the custodian Yusuf Sek in goal for Serrekunda FC. 0-0 is still the score. Kohli Stars on top of the table, closely followed by Kanifing is on second, Balosar on third, Elite on fourth, Walid on fifth, Swokon on sixth, RS Talinding on seventh,
North Star on 8th, Sibanur United 9, Serrekunda United on 10th, Unique Global 11, GAF 12, Myanmar Banjul 13, Wagadu 14, AJ Soccer 15, Serrekunda FC on 16th, Marimo 17, and on the foot of the table is the Coastal Boys of Gunjur United, who are of course on 18th with 15 points. And of course Gunjur United is also playing in this afternoon showdown, but we will try to confirm some of the fixtures and of course get you the possible results at halftime. But currently at the late Osman Saho football field, it's still 0-0, and of course they're trying to get something done, and this time it's decently done, straight into the gloves of the goalkeeper. That was a fantastic save from the goalkeeper.
That was a fantastic save from the goalkeeper. He looked to be an excellent goalkeeper, because he knows how fast the Elite United boys are. They are always winning all balls that are thrown in front of them, and then the defenders. So the only way that they can stop them from scoring goals is when the goalkeeper is right there. Once he missed one of his saves, definitely they will concede a goal. But I have considered one thing from the Gambian men's second division league. Looking at from the first man to the last man, the points difference are very tight. The tie is very. Winning a game can lead you to another position, can bring you closer, and losing a game also can drag you back. Because from the first to from Koli Stars, they have 40 points. They are the only ones that are leading the league with more than 3 points. All the other teams that are there are leading only 2, others 1. So I think no team should lose courage so far for now. Even if you are at the bottom of the table like Gunjur, they can shift from that position because they have a lot of games to play still. Yeah.
But the point margin is very narrow. Yeah. Anyway, team captain for Elite United, Babugar Chati. And Mamadou Ndong to Cham Abdullahi, the goalkeeper. Elite United will now switch play from the right to the left. Greatly done to Khalilu Sambu. And now Serrekunda FC trying to get that ball forward and of course caught out. And Abdurrahman Jallo has been penalized by the flag of the assistant referee for an offside. It's an offside in favor of Elite United, who are still playing out a 0-0 scoreline against Serrekunda FC in March Day 20. Of course, it wouldn't have been the best of week for the players of Elite United and of course the management players and officials, after the team going on a strike from Monday. Anyway, lost to Gambia Armed Forces 2-1 in their last fixture, which was of course played on Friday. The team trained on Saturday, they didn't train on Sunday, they didn't train on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and of course back here for the week 20 fixture against Serrekunda FC. And of course the last competitive game this side played was the narrow 2-1 defeat to of course Gambia Armed Forces last Friday. And alas, and interestingly, the team played their last competitive game on Friday, trained on Saturday, Sunday rested, expecting to go back to the training on Monday, but of course due to this salary and bonus issues, I think the team are still on that strike until and unless their demands are being met.
Definitely, it's a crazy moment right now in Elite United because I'm not expecting a team that is competing for the league. And this is a team that was one time playing in the Gambian First Division League. And then I know their dream would be to fight back and then see themselves in the Gambia First Division League. But I think this year was one of their best opportunities. This is one of their best years is that they can see themselves back in the Gambian First Division League. But so far, how things are standing, if they are not, their demands are not met, I don't think they will go back to train. And once they are missing training together, it will ruin down their fitness, and then it will ruin their understanding of each other's football style. That will definitely affect the team. So I think their management, their CEO, should definitely do better to meet their demands. Football is beyond that.
Anyway, Charty trying to maneuver his way, holding in for a handball, but central referee not interested as he waved in for a play on Esa Sanya, having a lot of pace and skill in him. Amri Tijan Koka. Amrit turns beautifully, gets it down, and the central referee has already given that for a set piece to Serrekunda FC. The score is still 0-0 in case you're just watching us. Edward Yanga to Modu Matar Sise. Edward Yanga once more. Amrit Tijan Koka. Sise. Sise to Amrit. Mohamed Jallo. Janko to Yanga. Serrekunda FC currently enjoying possession deep in their own half, around the dividing line. Amrit Tijan Koka looking for support. Amrit having a lot of Elite United players around him. Gets it down to Modu Matar Sise. Would dribble pass one, still looking for support. Central referee not interested. Hatimu Bari picks it for Elite United. Gets the ball forward, trying to connect the run of centre forward, and 20 came over. But the ball eludes Kemo on the far side for a throw in. And Elite will try to regroup, while Serrekunda FC will rely on that throw on the far side to move the ball from their own half. Abubakar Ajaju will surely get that. Team captain for the boys in black and yellow. And Abubakar operating on the right side of the defense. Nicely done, Serrekunda FC. And of course, time is running out for both sides as far as the first half is concerned. And of course, both sides looking for a goal before lemon time. Can they get that done remains to be seen. Per Tamba will chase. And Yusuf Seka alert enough to come off the line to gather that ball with ease. Mohamed Jallo. Jallo Mohamed to Edward Yanga, his defensive partner, to Yusuf Sek. Yusuf joined the team in the second round alongside some other players, and Serrekunda FC will try to build on that attack. Sise around the center circle, spreads it wide to Amrit Tijan Koka. And the ball is too strong for Koka to keep. And of course, a throw into Elite United, who are currently on 4th with 32, while Serrekunda FC on 16th with 18 points. And of course, Collie Stars leading the chart with 40 after 19 matches. And Collie Stars will be at the Boxbar Mini Stadium tomorrow to take on Gambia Armed Forces, who got the better of Elite United in the last game. And Elite currently are out of the men's FF Cup, while Serrekunda FC have secured a place in the round of 16 after the post-match shootout victory over TMT in the round of 32. And of course, we'll face another top division side, Heart FC, in the round of 16 at the Soma Mini Stadium, but currently focus on the league as they're currently taking on Elite United at the late Osman Saho football field. And of course, alas, and interestingly, Serrekunda FC, of course, you know, surprisingly edge out TMT in the round of 32 and will face, of course, Heart FC at the famous Soma Mini Stadium for a possible position or for a possible spot in the final 8 of the men's FF Cup.
Definitely, that's a big game ahead of them, knowing how much Hearts is good, and then in fact that would be an away game for them. And Hearts are playing at their home, a ground that they are used to, a ground that they train every day, is definitely a difficult team to face there. So they have a big task ahead of them. They have it, but I think right now the most what they should concentrate most on is them fighting for the GFF second division, because this is a league that, you know, it's not one game thing. Even when you are at the top of the table, when you start losing, you will see yourself at a farther distance than you were. So they need all concentrations and then all focus on this league. But they have a good side though. They have a good side. I will not be surprised when they get the better of Heart in Soma.
Thank you very much, Alasan. And currently focus and utmost focus for Serrekunda FC is on the league. But of course, we'll face Heart FC in the round of 16 of the men's FF Cup. Amrit Tijan Koka spreading it wide on the far side to Amadou Jaite. Jaite trying to have some step overs, looking for support to Ibrahim Asori Kamara, who spreads it backward to Abubakar Jajo. Delivery from Jajo. That's a decent one, and of course, partly headed out by Elite United. Kalilu Sambu. Amrit Tijan Koka gets it for Serrekunda. This time it's a low drive. Toure, the central defender for Elite. Not for too long. Janko Rasul, of course, back on his feet. Fascinating game. Currently, Elite having all its players behind the ball. Mohamed Jallo
And Jallo Mohammed has been rewarded by the central referee Aliu Bijaju. Fantastic, fantastic game. And of course, coming from Serrekunda FC this time around, I think we've watched key of the matches played by Serrekunda FC. But of course, this is one of the highest pressing games I think the team has played in recent matches.
Yeah, they're playing a very beautiful football because it's like their football is more of controlling the ball. They're playing more of Barcelona tactics than that of Real Madrid. But the only thing that will make their football to be count is when they score a goal. They should not allow Elite United.
This is an attack coming from Elite United. Can they put that ball count on the far side? Central defender Younger just there in time to get that decently. And of course, Elite United must be kicking at themselves for failing not to convert that. And of course, Elite United had the glorious opportunity, forced to Seydou Badji to put that ball beyond the reach of the goalkeeper. And of course, Alassane, if they have anybody to blame, I think they must be blaming themselves by now.
Definitely, there must be. I think this would have been 2-0 by now. This is a great chance, but looking at the defense that the Serrekunda United central defender played there, and then their netminder, their goalkeeper too, how tactical he was. He was very, very, very much alert. I was even at the spot thinking that I think he thought this is a play that the referee do not call a foul for. But after all, I see him trying to stop the ball, and then he rightly did that. So this is a great save from the goalkeeper, and then a great, I will give the more credit to the central defender who made the donkey walk there for the team. But I think Elite United by now, their manager, they should definitely do something about the chances that they are wasting. This is beyond wasting great chances like this. These are chances that you should not allow yourself to waste. This game should have been 2-0 by now, but we are yet to see anything different from the game still.
Thank you very much, Alassane. And currently, Edward Younger should be giving the entire credit. Of course, Younger depriving Elite United from getting the goal, and of course, Serrekunda FC from conceding the goal in the first period, and the score is 0-0. Edward Younger earlier on was down, being assisted by the medical team, and currently back on his feet. And of course, earlier on, we have seen that cooling break, and any moment from now, central referee Aliu Bijaju will of course get us running. And of course, the central referee has already given the green light for the restart. Is that a foul? Central referee not interested. Elite United once more around the edge of the 18, trying to get something from that. Around the area, clearance from Janko, and Elite once more. Cross comes in and partly, and finally Kalilu Sambu could not convert that into a goal, as of course Serrekunda FC will benefit from a goal kick. Fantastic first half.
Fantastic moments, yeah, and then a fantastic first half. A first half of great chances for Elite United. We are yet to see nothing different from Serrekunda United. I believe if these chances were caught by Serrekunda United, if these chances were caught by Serrekunda FC, they could have made it count. But Elites are wasting a lot of their chances, and then this is a game that you should not allow chances like this to waste. But they are playing a very, very fantastic formation. I don't know if you're observing that. They are playing a formation in which they play direct football. Once the ball is from the central defense, it only needs 1-2 touches, and then it will be there in the box of Serrekunda FC. So it's a great fixed choice, and it's great formation. It's a great tactic from their management. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Alassane. Elite United, Kausu Jata. That's a foul as judged by the central referee Aliu Bijaju. And Sadibu Seydou Badji seems to be protesting against the decision of the central referee, who has the final say. Mohamed Jallo to Edward Younger. Elite United enjoying possession in their half. To Abubakar Jaju on the right side of the defense. Gets it down to Abdurrahman Jallo, the center forward. And Jallo scored from just 12 yards out in the 1-1 draw against Serrekunda FC. Jete. Amadou Jete has been penalized and has already switched position from the right to the left now. Abdurrahman Jallo to Edward Younger. Younger Edward to Abubakar Jaju, the team captain. Jaju to Abdurrahman wide. Fantastic back heel, not for too long. Elite picks it deep in their own half. And Elite having the central defender
And of course, Omar Toure is a decent strike, or that wouldn't count. That wouldn't count.
But I think there is tactical changes happening for Serrekunda FC, because looking at Abrahman Diallo, who is operating as the point strike today in this game, is now playing as a supporting striker instead of playing as a striker, and then also coming down deep to collect the ball from the midfield where he is used to playing. And I think this is why they are keeping the ball now. This is why they are playing the ball more in their own half than even launching it forward, because they are playing as a team that is without a point striker, a team without a permanent point striker. So it's like they have supporting strikers that are trying to play as point striker, but they don't have a point striker. I think that should be better formation than that.
Thank you very much, Alasan. Interesting and lively from the late Osman Saho football field. And we have already played majority of the minutes in the first half, and the score is still barren. Serrekunda FC nil, Elite United nil is still the score. And of course, you are reminded that this game is also coming to you live on LS3 via the Cabin Parliament Party. Alasan Bayu Kamara behind camera operations. And special thanks to all the individuals monitoring this game live on LSTV1. It has been fantastic first minutes of the first half, and the score is still 0-0. Mamadou Ndong, Elite United, Edward Younger heads it down. Kausu Jata around the edge of the 18, looking for support. That wasn't a decent one. Atimu Bari, the former SL United and Real de Banjul midfielder. Sadibu Baje chips it wide. The flag of the assistant referee stayed down. Cross comes in, partly caught out, and Elite United will try to get something. And of course, Janko gets it down. Modu Matar Sise, who is currently leading the line for Serrekunda FC, looking for support, gets it down. Caught out by Toure. Omar Toure, who played in the Brikama Somanawetan last season around the area. Jete trying to maneuver his way out, and that's a foul against Amadou Jete.
I think this chance should have come better than it came. Because looking at Serrekunda, when they cut the ball, they have 4 of their men on top, and then they were chasing 4 against 4. But there was nobody who was making the runs of a striker for them, in which he would have disrupted the formation at which these defenders were standing. But all the 2 players they were all running as midfielders, and then they have no other person who could have run and then make some other transformation changes within the midfield area that can lead the one coming with the ball to have more space to run.
Thank you very much, Alasan. And it's currently half-time. And half-time at the late Osman Saho football field in Yundum. And half-time between Serrekunda FC and Elite United. And of course, half-time without a goal or goals, as both sides are currently heading back into the dressing room with, of course, a 0-0 scoreline. It has been Parliament Fati Alasan Ba on LSTV1 Ayuba Kamara. Until then, to join us in the next 15 for the continuation. Welcome back to the late Osman Saho football field for the continuation of this lively and entertaining showdown. And of course, it is the second and final half between Elite and Serrekunda FC. And Elite now playing from our right to left, while Serrekunda FC kicking from our left to right. Elite in their colorful and usual green and white shirts, green shorts and green socks, while Serrekunda FC in yellow shirts, black shorts and yellow socks. And Serrekunda FC will now rely on Edward Younger to get that. Edward Younger is having the defensive partnership alongside Ibrahim Sori Kamara. And of course in the force have Ibrahim Sori Kamara. Seems to have been deployed in the hard, but currently dropping down. Sori Kamara Ibrahim. Ibrahim Sori to Abubakar Jaju. Abubakar having a tussle against Kalilu Sambu, and Kalilu has already guarded that ball for a goal kick. Interesting and lively, both sides picking it from where they left it in the first half. And of course both sides hoping to get maximum, but if they can't get that, they will of course be content with a point. Seydou Badji dispossessed. Modu Matar Sise for Serrekunda FC gets that ball fantastically controlled, and Serrekunda FC is a decent strike. And Abdullahi Cham to the rescue of Elite United. What a strike from Amadou Jete, and Jete's strike has been beautifully palmed away by the goalkeeper Abdullahi Cham. And of course Alassane Ba, that was of course the greatest of chance coming from Serrekunda FC, and of course that would have been 1-0 up for Serrekunda, but of course the brilliance of Abdullahi Cham is still keeping this game to a nil-biting goalless draw.
Thank you very much, Pa Fati, and then welcome back for another phase of the game. But Pa, it's a different time again, because this time around it looks to be a chance reigning for Serrekunda FC than Elite United, because we experienced that during the first half of the game. Elite United have a lot of chances, but they couldn't make any of their chance to count. And seeing the skip that Abdullah just shoot, and then it was saved by the netminder for Elite United, was excellent. I think letting this kind of shoots to happen can even change the dynamic of the game, can change the rhythm of the game. And seeing that Serrekunda United are now out all in hunger just to find a goal, because them knowing that the only thing that is good for them for their past two games, as I said earlier on, they were only able to get one draw and then lose one. There was no win for them. But this time around, I know all they come for, the dream that they come for, the ambition that they are here for is to secure a win that will bring them back to the 15th position of the table.
Thank you very much, Alasa. Interesting and lively. Serrekunda FC nil, Elite United nil. Amri Tijan Kuka to Janko. Ibrahima Sori Kamara. Sori looking for support. Physically build up central defender, gets it down to Abdurrahman, who scored the only goal. This time Abdurrahman, instead of power, went in for a simple tapping, but the goalkeeper Abdullahi Cham guarded that ball with ease. Fantastically done by the netminder. And of course Abdullahi Cham in goal for Elite United, whilst Yusuf Seka in the opposite goal post for Serrekunda FC. The score is 0-0. Sori Kamara. Ibrahima to Amred Tijan Koka. Great control, Amred. Gets that ball on the far side to Jete Amadou. Amadou Jete looking for support, and Jete has been rustled, but central referee not interested. Ibrahima Sori Kamara gets it down for Serrekunda FC. Abdurrahman Jallo looking for support. Tall and lanky. Cross comes in, partly headed out. Janko picks it for Serrekunda. Serrekunda FC once more. Amred Tijan Koka! Testing the goalkeeper from that angle. Trying to get something audacious, but of course could not divert that into a goal. And that was a decent strike from Amrit Tijan Koka. But of course the score remains barren.
Amrit Tijan Koka is just a masterclass central defense for Serrekunda United. Looking at Amrit Tijan, what he is doing, he is playing more of the controlling system for Serrekunda FC, and again he's also using his strength, his power in kicking balls also. As a midfielder, I think these are one of the things that you should be excellent of, because I will throw you back to Real Madrid. Looking at Valverde, why they rate him as one of their best midfielder so far that they have is because of his goal scoring strength. And is what Coca is doing for Serrekunda FC today. He's controlling the rhythm of their game, and also he's the one dictating how the game is playing for them. Once he is with the ball, everything is fine for them.
It's going to be a tussle between the two. Hatimu Bari to Omar Toure. Omar to Chernoba. Ibrahim Asuri Kamara on Chernoba. One down on Cherno has been rewarded by central referee, and Hatimu picks it for Elite United. And central referee Aliu Bijaju has already ordered the player to get the ball backwards. Omar Toure. Omar Toure gets it long. Amrid takes it for Serrekunda FC. Mohamed Jallo. Jallo looking for support, but of course the ball decently being blocked to touch by Seydou Badji. And Seydou is one of the experienced players, played for the Gambia Armed Forces before coming to Elite United. But anyway, the score is 0-0. Amrid once more. And Amrid is calling in for a push, and central referee has already given that. Of course, a protest coming from the technical bench of Elite United. A technical bench in the absence of Major Sen. And of course, Major, we believe, is still on strike. But anyway, nowhere to be seen. And of course, as confirmed, the team has not called off the strike. They are here because they wouldn't want the players and of course the team to face some consequences. But anyway, as confirmed from some of the sources close to the team, as authoritatively confirmed to us that the team will be back on the strike after this contest. And now once more Elite United around the center. Spreads it wide for Kalilu Sambu to chase. Kalilu trying to go solo, looking for support, decently blocked by the right back on 27, Abubakar Jaju, who is of course the team captain for Serrekunda FC. And this lively and fascinating showdown. Interesting and lively from the late Osman Saho football field, and of course you could of course hear the claps coming from the faithfuls of Serrekunda FC in appreciation of that tackle coming from Abubakar Jaju, the team captain.
Yeah, that was a great tackle by Abubakar Jaju, the team captain. But like I said earlier on, Elites is a team that plays with physicalities. Elites is a team that is very fast in their transformations. Elites do not need the ball to play from 1-2. Now, all that they need is to play direct football. And this is what they are playing, and this is why they are getting better chances than Serrekunda FC, that is playing better football than them, even without getting better chances. But I think the only way that they can change the rhythm of this game, the results of this game, is when they stop wasting their chances. It's when they make their chances count for them. Because during the first period of the game, they got 2 clear chances that could have easily make it count, and then that would have led us to 2-0 victory. But yet we were unable to see anything that results to a goal. But Serrekunda are playing a system that is definitely very difficult to dominate. I know once Serrekunda score before Elite United, it will be hard for them to equalize because they will score and then they will defend them with the ball.
Fantastic cross coming from Seydou Badji, but of course caught out by the defender of course of Serrekunda FC. Serrekunda FC will benefit from a corner. Seydou Badji. Kausu Jata not very far from the scene. And of course we will get you the halftime scores across different venues of the second division. Seydou Badji is a decent one, partly dealt with by Younger once more. And finally the ball crashed on the advancing player of Serrekunda, of Elite United rather. And now Serrekunda will benefit from a goal kick. Custodian Yusuf Sek to get that, urging his players to move forward. And of course, at halftime, AJ Soccer trailed by a goal to 0 against Kanifing East at the Soma Mini Stadium. And of course, that was an own goal coming from Simon Bass. Cross comes in for Serrekunda FC. That's a glancing one coming from Esa Sanyang. And Esa could not divert that into a goal. But of course, another close effort coming from the boys from Serrekunda. But of course, another wasted one for that matter. Gunjuri United at halftime, 0-0 against North Star at the Nyamina Mini Stadium. Serrekunda FC 0, Elite United 0 at the late Osman Saho football field. Balosar 1-0 up against Suokono at the Dimfi Sports Complex in Faraba. Aresta Linding 1, Sibanor United 1 at halftime. Seni Nyase, of course, scored the first goal for the Sibanor Bay side just a minute into the first half before Keba Baji of Aresta Linding bringing that game to parity. And of course, that's the halftime scores. And currently at the late Osman Saho football field, it is still 0-0 between Serrekunda FC and Elite United. A goal here will totally change the dynamics. Janko to Yanga, Amri Tijan Koka, looking for support, chips that ball forward to Ibrahim Asuri Kamara. Wasted opportunity. Abubakar Jaju will try to do some defensive duty. Jaju Abubakar.
407817. But as things and then the results of the games that are playing today, the stand of the league table have already changed because Serrekunda FC draw in this game with Elite United and Sibano United. Draw is 1-0 would definitely change the dynamic of the game. But that chance of Ibrahim who just couldn't make it count. It was Abraham Jallo, who is more physical in size and taller in length than him. Would have easily made that count for Abraham. But the yellow boy has in the second period of the game.
Thank you very much, Alasan Ba. Interesting and lively in the second and final half. Both sides working off their socks in trying to get a breakthrough here. And now it is the turn of Serrekunda FC. The boys dressed in black and yellow. Cross comes in. Partly dealt with by Elite United, and Serrekunda FC will benefit from a corner once more. Amri Tijan Koka to deliver. Of course, an end-to-end contest between Serrekunda and Elite United, and it is of course a corner to Serrekunda, who are currently having 3 players warming on the far end, whilst Elite United still having the players on the technical bench patiently waiting. Amri Tijan Koka, crowded penalty area. Elite having key of their players except one of the offensive players around the area. Cross comes in, partly punched away by the goalkeeper, and the goalkeeper is already down and already rewarded by central referee Aliu B. Jaju. And of course the goalkeeper Abdullah Cham is down, and of course he crashed on the players.
That was an excellent call by the central referee because in football law, once a goalkeeper is out and then he has a touch on the ball, any player that is there to physically disrupt him would definitely be awarded as a foul. And then you can rightly see that the goalkeeper was the one who played the ball safety, and this is one of the only ways in which he can rescue Elite United from a corner, because looking at Serrekunda FC, they are a team that have so many lanky players and so many tall players that are very good on the aerial, so the goalkeeper not coming out to punch out balls in free kicks can easily lead to goal for them.
It's an attack, and of course Elite United has been rewarded by central referee Aliu B. Jaju. Is that going to be a yellow card? Yes. Dash out to Edward Yanga, and Edward is still protesting against the decision of the central referee. But Aliu B. Jaju is the central referee and of course has the final say in this entertaining and lively showdown. Aliu B. Jaju is having the assistance of Bakari Kante, Adam Abuso and Famara Kujabe as fourth assistant referee, whilst Abdu K. Cham is the match commissioner. It's a set piece at a promising angle. And currently Kausu Jata and Sedu Baji are the 2 players behind the ball. Kausu Jata is currently behind the ball, probably one of the likely candidates to deliver alongside Sedu Baji. Kausu Jata. Sedu will take that. It's a decent drive over the crossbar. Sedu is an experienced player.
Yeah, Seydou is an experienced player, and that was a very, very fine free kick. When he got his target, it could have been a very big trouble for the netminder to save that. Looking at the pace at which he kicked the ball, and the direction that the ball was directed, it just went over the bar, but if not, it could have led to a goal. So well, there we can see that there is changes happening for Serrekunda FC, and I know that changes would definitely bring a tactical changes for Serrekunda FC. Let's see if now the changes would increase the tempo, the spirit, the rhythm at which the ball would move from the Serrekunda FC boys, or it won't.
Amadou Jata on alongside Amman Rasool, whilst having Mohamed Jallo and Abdurrahman Jallo off for the Serrekunda B side. And Serrekunda FC has introduced 2 fresh legs and got rid of 2 tired legs. Team captain chested that ball down. Back to central defender who gets that ball forward for Elite United. Seydou Badji to Kausu Jata. Abubakar Jaju. Abubakar has been rustled, and Kausu is operating as a right back, and Abubakar Jaju has now switched position from the right to the left. 13 Arman Rasool has now been deployed on the right side of the defense for the boys from Serrekunda, and the score is still 0-0 in case you're just joining us. And Serrekunda FC hopes to get a victory here, whilst Elite United, who are currently or still on strike, will also hope to get maximum points. Elite United got beaten by Gambia Armed Forces in their last fixture, while Serrekunda FC picked a point in a 1-1 draw against Wokono at the Soma Mini Stadium. Kausu Jata gets it down, gets it forward for Per Tamba. Per Tamba with a low drive. Edward Yanga Edward Rasool push off the ball. It's a prot from Per Tamba, but of course central referee stick to his ground to give the advantage, and Edward is still down, already on a yellow card for Serrekunda FC, and of course this game is still far over. Any of the sides can of course get a victory here, Alassane.
Yeah, any of the side can get a victory here, but a victory would only come if the tactical changes that I am seeing happening in the game change. Because from the starting of the game, the formation which Serrekunda FC were playing, later on we could see that they were playing a formation in which they were using midfielders and running as strikers for them. But now they have introduced a fresh leg that bring in a striker. They have now a permanent striker who is running as a striker that would increase the pressure for Elite United from the top front.
It is still Elite United. Hatim Obari to the team captain Babukar Chati. Yes, cross comes in, and of course timely interception. It is a fantastic game between Elite United and Serrekunda FC. Central referee not interested once more. Padudu Jallo. Amadou Jata, the newly introduced player. Ibrahima Sori Kamara. It's a chase, and already Omar Toure down, but central referee not interested. Abdullah Cham getting it for Elite United. Lively and entertaining in this fascinating game. Both sides trying to outnumber their opponent. And once more the team captain, Elite United, spreads it forward, and it is Seydou Badji. Seydou trying to keep that ball in play. Still an opportunity around the area, strike. And of course, decently caught out by Janko. And end-to-end stuff. Now Amriti Jan Koka lays it forward to the forward Esa Sanyang. But ball being decently caught out by Elite United. And it's a tussle between Seydou and Abubakar Jaju, and Seydou Badji are seemingly being pushed off the board by Abubakar Jaju, who has now switched position, initially playing as the right back and now being deployed as the left back for Serrekunda FC.
Yeah, there are a lot of tactical changes happening within the Force 11 that is playing here. And both sides are doing their tactical changes. But I think Elite United boys should have not go for power in that chance. He should have just looked for a loophole in which he would just make a true pass for his boys, because there were a lot of numbers in the final box of Serrekunda FC that when he makes a pass, it can easily lead to a goal rather than going for a power that was intercepted by Janko there.
Thank you very much, Alasan. Fascinating game and lively. Pertamba. Amrit Tijan Koka to Amadou Jata. Amrit once more. Amrit looking for support to Ibrahim Asuri Kamara. Janko. Mohamed M. Janko has been brought down. Ibrahim Asuri Kamara. Amadou Jata. Jata Amadou to Abubakar Jaju. Jaju trying to get something done. And of course, Abubakar Jaju has been brought down. And of course, Abubakar Jaju is currently down, and the medical team will now come to the rescue of the player.
That was a serious foul, it looks. I think this is the second yellow shown in the game so far. Now both sides have got yellow card from the central referee. But I know if this boy could not make it to his feet to play for Serrekunda FC, it definitely would be a great minus for them, because he's one of the only players who is good in tracking the ball towards 1-2 and then beat 1-2 players for Ellis United. So him being out here would definitely cost a lot for Serrekunda FC. I don't know definitely who will replace him, but whoever is to replace him have a lot to do, because he's a player who is very fine, and then he's fine in both ways. He's good in 1v1, he's good in kicks, and then he also press a lot for Serrekunda FC.
Thank you very much, Alasan. And deep into the second period, the score is still 0-0. Abubakar Jaju is still down receiving attention, and he must have sustained bruise, we believe. But anyway, 3 other players warming for Serrekunda FC. And of course, we're still having players warming. And Abubakar Jaju, let's just wait and see whether he will be able to continue. He's of course one of the hard-working players for the Serrekunda FC setup. Jaju, the team captain. It's a delivery. Is your time goalkeeper Abdullah Cham. Elite United now on the attack, trying to go solo. Arman Rasool, Amrit Tijan Koka, getting it down now around the center circle. Edward Yanga, central referee not interested. Elite picking it once more. Hatimu Bari to the team captain. Cross comes in. An easy time goalkeeper, Yusuf Sek.
substitution going.
Yeah, substitution. And of course, Salif Cisse, the most experienced player. But his Elite United side has been introduced. Played for the Gambia youth level. Of course, Salif Cisse played for some other clubs in the top division as well. He has been the best player, or one of the best players in the league. Salif Cisse alias Messi, his fans will call him. And he's of course now playing for Elite United in the second division, hoping to aid the team for promotion to the top flight, or back to the top flight. Back here, around the edge, flag of the assistant referee up against Elite. That was of course a fantastic run on the far end, and Elite United will regroup while Serrekunda FC gets that. Mohamed M. Janko trying to get it forward. Not the best of delivery from Edward Younger. And of course, Alassane, I believe both sides are now trying to be as cautious as possible in not conceding, possibly if they don't score.
Yeah, I think this is the best results that both teams can do.
Oops! That was definitely very close, but that's an offside.
Yeah, there is an offside. There is an offside, but so close. If that happens to be the assistant, that is a linesman there, it could have resulted to a very, very, very severe goal when it score. But Pa, I think this is the best results both sides can get when they cannot score a goal. It's better you go home with a 1 point than going home without a point. So both teams are right now cautious that the time is aging and they are now introducing fresh legs. And you understand that in football, they will tell you sometimes the ones that are coming as subs are the ones that do always determine how the game will end. So let's see if the same thing would happen here today also in the game between Elite United and Serrekunda FC.
Thank you very much, Alassane. Elite on the attack once more. Trying to get something from that. It's a decent one from Khalilu. And the goalkeeper, Yusuf Sek, trying to deprive that. But unfortunately, he could not. And it's a corner to Elite. Serrekunda FC will indeed work on that. Khalilu Sambu to deliver the corner. Well taken corner. Calling for another corner, but this time the central referee Aliou B. Jaju has already pointed for a goal kick. Interesting and lively. Serrekunda FC still having three of their players warming. Cherno Sen is one of them. Aliou Jaju is another opportunity. Cross comes in straight into the gloves of the goalkeeper. Amadou Jata for Serrekunda. Almon Rasoul to Amadou Jata. Jata lifts it forward to Esa Sanyang. Esa narrowly lost that. Elite United around the center circle. To Kausu Jata operating on the right side of the defense. And Kausu has been bundled off the ball. And Esa Sanyang penalized. And Kausu will deliver that for Elite United. And Kausu operating on the right side of the defense. And the goalkeeper, Abdullah Cham, urging his players to move forward. Physically build up goalkeeper. From the half of Elite to the half of Serrekunda FC. And back to the half of Serrekunda FC once more. And Cham to the rescue.
I think during the first period of the game, the first half of the game, Esha was one of the troublemakers for Elite United. But after the boys visiting the locker room and then being back in the second half, it's like the team coach have already worked on that, because for this second half, since it started, Esa is losing many of his balls that he was troubling Elite United during the first period of the game. But now you would understand that there is a man who is always closer to him, depriving him from getting the ball as he was getting it, and also depriving him from being able to get that chance to face them 1v1s that they know is always a trouble for them to beat him back.
Thank you very much, Alassane. Interesting and lively. Currently it's a set piece, 3-man wall assembled by Serrekunda FC. And Serrekunda FC will now have a set piece at a promising angle. Promising angle.
currently having two of the players behind the ball. Can they get something from this? Remains to be seen. And of course, Elite United, in the absence of the head coach Major Sen, will try to see if they can snatch a victory here. And of course, Serrekunda FC under the guidance of Alan Mendy and Abdullah Baji. It's a set piece. It's a set piece. This time it's a low drive. Calling in for handball, but central referee not interested. Elite picks it back to Omar Toure. And the ball is already out for a throw-in.
That was a poor delivery in par. After getting all those boys in your box, in the box of Serrekunda FC, you couldn't deliver a free kick that would at least lead to a cross in which they would wrestle for a goal. But you couldn't even get it before the barrier. So I think he could have done better than that for Elite United. But recently you will see both teams are mindful of not conceding than scoring fast.
Anyway, both sides are trying to be as cautious as they could.
Yeah.
Trying to be as cautious as possible. If they don't concede, if they don't score, they wouldn't love to concede. Ibrahim Asori Kamara. I'm sorry. Arman Rasool. Hatim Obari. Salifu Sise. And now Serrekunda FC has also introduced fresh legs.
Yeah.
Jibril Bojang is one of those introduced in the second half alongside Abdullah C. Aliu Jaju has also been introduced. Elite United. Padudu, not a decent one. Abubakar Jaju. Abubakar seems to have a serious bruise.
Sure.
Yeah, I think that was indeed an awful one.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It's a serious one.
And now it's going to be a chase. But still, despite having that bruise, he's doing a lot of hard work for Elite United, for Serrekunda FC rather. Salifu Sise. To the team captain up front, Babukar Chati, and Babukar has been caught on offside.
Yeah, that was a fine finish from Babukar, but this linesman was right there to call it as an offside. But I think these are one of the chances that Serrekunda FC should not let Elites to be having, because seeing how they are moving in the top front is just great. They have a formation in their front that once they have the ball, the way they move, the way they track is so fast that they distract the defense line for Serrekunda FC. And we are not seeing similar things happening, because at the first half of the game, we were seeing Serrekunda having some better chances, but Elites are having greater chances than them. Though they are yet to make any of their chances, but I think should have been different results than this if only Elite United capitalizes on their chances that they have wasted.
Thank you very much, Alassane. And of course, time running out for both sides. And of course, both sides will hope to get maximum. Or if they can't get that, at least a point should be enough. Kausu Jata for Elite. Abubakar Jaju. Charm. Jibril Esa Sanyang. And Esa Sanyang has been bundle of the ball. And Hatimo Pari rewarded. Fantastic second half. Hatimo is still down. Probably the central referee will solely order for the ball to be stopped. Jibril Bojang. Jibril Bojang. And now it's a tussle between the two around the area. Can they get something? Cross comes in. Edward Younger just there in time to get that ball off. Amri Tijan Koka chested that ball down. No player to chase. And Elite United will have all the time through Mamadou Ndong to start the play to Hatimu Bari. Hatimu to Salifu Cisse, the latest entrant. Salifu chips it forward. That was going to be an offside.
Sure.
Yes, so of course the goalkeeper Yusuf Sek. Just timely. Jibril Boja.
But the number 19, I don't know if he's Jibril or he's a very, very, very fine bowler. I don't know the reason why he do not start the game, but you could see his impact since he was introduced from the second half of the game. So he have been playing a fantastic game. He have been doing fantastic runs, great attack. 1v1 is difficult to stop him, if not impossible. So I don't know the reason why the gaffer, the manager, do not start him.
Well, anyway, that is the game for you. And of course, Aliu is currently doing a lot of fantastic runs. Great job in the heart of midfield for Serrekunda FC. And Aliu B. Jaju has already handed the ball to Serrekunda FC. And of course, Elite United players in disbelief. Anyway, that is the game for you. Interesting and lively.
That's a serious collision.
That seems to be serious between Hatimu Bari. Hatimu Bari and one of the players that we can confirm for now. But already the medical team are already on for support. And of course, time must be running out for both sides. And of course, a point to do for either sides if they can snatch maximum points.
But you can see Elite United boys are complaining for a card booking for Serrekunda FC, but I don't think it was to be penalized. I don't think this was deliberate. It was an aerial ball, but players jumped and then they missed the ball, which lead them to a collision. So the call that the referee did there, I think is a great call, but I don't think it was to be awarded as a card for any of them.
Thank you very much. And fourth assistant referee Hatimu is already back on his feet. And of course, Serrekunda FC also having a player who is still receiving attention. And the final moments of this lively and entertaining showdown. Cherno Sen is warming for Serrekunda FC. Probably he might be one of the final, if not the final player to be injected. Modu Matar Sise is the player, and he is currently back on his feet for Serrekunda FC. Trying to get some step overs. Jibril Bojang once more came on as a substitute. It's a low drive and decently caught out by Omar Toure. Hatimu Bari has been reintroduced. And Modu Matar Sise is still struggling.
So he seems.
And Cherno Sen has been introduced. And of course, Modu Matar Sise is off. And Modu Matar Sise is still off the field. The youngster. Serrekunda FC.
One.
The player is still down, out injured. And we believe in
We are still in the final. I believe any moment from now we might have the fourth assistant referee putting up the additional minutes. Ibrahim Asori Kamara.
It's around 42 minutes played already.
Yusuf Sek. Yusuf Sek to Yanga. Hatimu Bari around the center. Amrit Tijan Koka trying to coil him down. Esa Sanya. Cherno Sen. Cherno, the latest entrant, that's a handball. That's a handball as judged by the central referee, Salif Kise. Kausu Jata.
This is a game that seems to end as 0-0. As you can see, both sides are now not hungry for goals. They are just playing a game. Results to a draw for them. But I think this is a game that Serrekunda FC should have capitalized. After knowing that Elite United are on a strike, they missed training together since on Monday, and that's 3 days without training together as a team that is competing for the league. When you play against them, I think you could do better than they are doing here today. Serrekunda FC, this was a result that I was predicting to be on their favor, but things are not happening like that.
Thank you very much, Alasan. And of course, interesting and lively in the final moments. Any moment, Serrekunda FC, or Elite United rather, will get in another player. Ball being chipped forward and the flag is up against the player. Elite United, Chernobyl has been penalized by the flag of the assistant referee. Any moment, we're going to see another substitution being effected by head coach Fode Sar and his boys. And of course, Fode Sar serving as the head coach this afternoon in the absence of Major Sen. Omar Toure. Team captain Babukar Chati.
Babukar is a great bowler.
He's a fantastic young lad, fantastic player for Elite United. Double substitution.
Babukar, all the balls that he will miss here will result to a foul for him.
And the captain is going off. Babukar Chati is going off.
Is going off.
And now the armband is going to be handed to Pa Dudu Jallo.
Yeah.
And Pa Dudu Jallo will of course have the captain armband now in the absence of the team captain Babukar Chati. Fantastic player. But anyway, Serrekunda FC trying to hold on to this advantage, to this 0-0 scoreline. Equally, Elite United, if they can't get a goal. Omar Toure. Omar gets it wide to Kalilu Sambo. And Kalilu has been penalized by the flag of the assistant referee for a throw-in. Interesting and lively between the boys in white and green and the boys in yellow and black. Serrekunda FC. Salifu Sise to Hatimu Bari. Hatimu looking for support. Salifu Sise once more. Salifu Sise. And Salifu has been bundled off the ball. Hatimu Bari seems to be struggling, probably from the last knock. Yeah, he seems to be struggling still. Whether to be able to continue or not is now the question.
But I think that's the final substitute for Elite United. If he is down, I don't think the central referee will allow anybody to replace him in. And also, he's also a very, very great player for them. He's doing excellent work for them.
Probably that's the reason.
Yeah.
He seems to be in pain and he seems to be struggling, but still there's no chance for Elite United to get in another player.
Yeah. And there is no other player who is even warming for Elite United.
Anyway, that is the game for you, and of course we're going to have 4 minutes of additional time. 4 minutes added on. 4 solid minutes added by the central referee. And of course 4 minutes for Elite to get a goal. 4 minutes for Serrekunda FC to get a goal.
or else it's going to be share of the spoils at the late Osman Saho football field.
It looks to be a result of sad goals, sad points. Because both teams have played excellent. They have created chances, but there was no chance that counts for these 90 minutes that have played. I don't think it would be easy just like that for a team to score in these 4 minutes. But let's see if Serrekunda can make any in there this final.
Let's wait and see what what's going to be the outcome here. Amadou Jata cross comes in, blocked for a corner.
I think one of the problems that disturbed Serrekunda FC is that they didn't have a permanent striker who is striking for them. Because even after they bring off Abdurrahman Jallo, who was playing as their point striker in the first half and then in the early minutes of the second half, yet we couldn't see any player who is playing there as a permanent striker and who is doing the work of a striker for them. I think are disturbing them also.
It's a corner. Amri Tijan Koka, partly headed out by Elite United. Esa Sanya has already handed the ball, and Elite United will build on. Kausu Jata, it's going to be a chase, and the goalkeeper there in time to clear that ball desperately. Yusuf Sek, the goalkeeper, just there on spot.
Yusuf is a fine goal.
Elite once more. Cross comes in from Salifu Sise, and it's going to be a corner. That's a corner for Elite again. Elite still working on a goal here. Still trying to get the breakthrough. Elite United. Delivery! Wow. And the goalkeeper having a hand to it. That was, of course, a decent save coming from Yusuf Sek.
That was a decent save from Yusuf Sek. These are one of the saves that goalkeepers would do. This is a masterclass save because you could see the strength that the...
Yeah, and that's a goal kick.
That's a goal kick.
That's a goal kick. And of course, the goalkeeper is still down injured. And the final moments of this lively and entertaining showdown. The score is still 0-0. Ibrahim Asori Kamara and the central referee Alubi Jaju has already ordered them to get the ball back again.
Then they play the ball.
They have to get it again on Younger, Edward. Kausu Jata heading it down. Around the center circle, Amadou Jata missed it. We'll try to recover that once more. Hatimu Bari, Amri Tijan Koka for Serrekunda, gets it down to Bojang. Jibril Bojang trying to get some step overs. Bojang again, cross comes in. Delivery, ball being headed down by Aliou Baje. Aliou Baje trying to get something from that, and he seems to be pushed up the ball, and of course it's a goal kick.
Fantastic defense. Duty there.
Salifu Sisa to Kalilu. And it's Asanya.
Yes, sir. You can see how Esha is changing wings from the left to the right wing back, but yet we couldn't see any impact from him, more especially in this second period of the game, because I think there was a tactical changes and there was a more order given to the Elites boys to get more and more closer to him after them knowing how he is good on the ball.
And that is the final action from the late Osman Saho football field in Yundum, and it has just ended. Serrekunda FC 0, Elite United 0, and this is where we're going to draw the curtain. It has been Parliament Party. Alasan Ba, Ayuba Kamara. Until then, bye-bye from LSTV until we come your way again.